Okay, hey guys, just wanted to run down real quick how to throw a texture on in 3ds Max. So I got my little mushroom here, and see the geometry, turn on edge faces. So I won't be getting into unwrapping. I'll do another tutorial on how to UV unwrap this object, but this is just simply modified sphere, and that's it really, a sphere. And I'm going to show you how to throw on some Photoshop textures and then how to do a bump map. I'll get into normal maps later because normal maps are just the shit, so everyone should know how to do it. Alright, so let's get started here by opening up the material editor at the top. And we're going to pick a new material ball. And we're going to go into maps. Actually, before I do that, I forgot a very important step. When you unwrap, and I'll do another tutorial on how to unwrap, you're going to get something that looks like this. And this is basically the skin of your mushroom laid out in a flat format. So you can bring it into Photoshop and put a 2D texture and it'll wrap around this 3D object. So here I have my mushroom. It's unwrapped right now. There's the stem right here, unwrapped, and this is the top, and this is the underside of the mushroom. So I have these two things. The reason why you don't see two sides of these spheres is that I mirrored the image on the top, so I wouldn't have to unwrap everything. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come up to here to Tools, Render UVW Template, and it'll bring up this little one. Now it's your choice if you want to go higher res or lower res, whatever you want, but it has to be a multiple of 1024 to get what you want. So you can go 248 by 248. And I think 248 by 248 is a little too high for a mushroom, especially if you're going to be bringing it into something like the Unreal Editor. The Unreal Editor does take 248 texture maps, but for something as simple as a mushroom, you wouldn't need that. That's more for character and environment modeling. So we're going to hit, we're going to go back actually to 1024 and 1024. We're going to hit Render UVW Template. And it'll come up with something like this. And you just want to save this little save item. And we're going to save it as a Targa file format, or TGA. Name it whatever you want, save it, and I'm going to close this because I already have one saved. And once you save that out, you can close all this. Go into Photoshop. I already have this loaded, but you'll go File, Open, Open, and you're going to find your Targa file that says whatever you named it, mushroom, and you're going to bring it in. And mine's right here, it's already overlaid. Now what you can do with this is, once you have this file or image laid onto your Photoshop, you can actually bring in textures of mushrooms into Photoshop and lay them under it. Now because if you've been working with Photoshop, you'll realize that there are layer types. Now the layer type you want to be able to see your lines and your texture underneath is screen, so you can see right through the blackness, just your lines. You can get an idea of where the outline is. And I've went ahead and put in some simple mushroom textures in here. You can see there's the top of my mushroom right here. Bottom of my mushroom is those little gills on it. And the top of my mushroom I just used again for the stem, because it has this really cool cut in the top that I really think looks awesome. So once you have this all in here, you can save this out as a PSD file. So save as mushroom PSD texture right here, and save that out. And what you're also going to want to do, because we're going to get into bumps and we're going to throw a specular map on it too to make it shiny, to look more organic, is you're going to want to go down here to your layer types and turn it black and white right here. So you'll get something that looks like this. And right here, sorry, and you're going to want to put a brightness and contrast layer on top of it too to bring out those white colors and push in the black colors, because bump maps use white and black to figure out where to push and where to pull the actual image on the geometry. So you're going to save this file format out. Actually, I forgot one important step. Make sure you hide your UV layer when you export. Or else if you don't, you'll get lines where your UVs are, so just turn that off. And save this file out. This is the file I have right here. Save the black and white image as a target file. So save as TGA, name it whatever you want, save it. And we're going to go out of Photoshop now and back into here. So in 3ds Max, you're going to collapse your stack if you haven't already, to get rid of those UVs. You're going to go to your material editor. You're going to pull up a new material ball. In the material ball, you're going to scroll down to where it says maps. In diffuse color, which is where the color map goes for your object, you're going to click the none. You're going to click bitmap image, and you're going to find, if I can, I forgot to find where my stuff was. Right here, mushroom texture. So you can click for the diffuse map, you can click your PSD file, and it's going to ask you if you want to collapse your layers, yes. And it's going to comp right here as a material selected ball. You're going to apply that to your image. You can just drag and drop, or you can hit this little assign material to selection button. And you might notice that it's not showing up on your model. You just have to make it visible in your viewports, and there it is. Now if you see that your texture looks pixelated in any way, don't worry. Once you render it, it'll look fine. You just have to come up here to material, show material in viewport as, hardware display with maps, and it'll make it a higher quality so you can view that in your viewport. So now you have your texture on here. You're going to want a bump map now. So you're going to click this little drop down menu, go back to default, and that'll bring you back to your root menu of that material. Scroll down until you see a little icon that says bump. You're going to click the none. You're going to go to bitmap, and you're going to find that target file that you saved out, that black and white target file, and it's right here. Make sure you have the right one. So I'm going to click this one. It's going to bring it in, and already you can see the changes that it does to your model. So I'll zoom right in here and you can see how it got a lot more bumpier. And I'm going to go back into default just to show you what it looks like with and without. So this is your texture map without a bump, and when you click the bump back on, you can see the change. It pushes and pulls the white and black areas. It pulls the white areas out and pushes the black areas of the image in. And you'll see it more if I turn off the diffuse color map. You can see it's actually pushing and pulling, not pushing and pulling the geometry, but pushing and pulling the image to make it look like it's pushing and pulling the geometry. So I'm just going to turn this diffuse back on. And because it's organic, we want it to look shiny. It's a fungus. We want it to look shiny, so we're going to go into reflection, click bitmap, and we're going to pick that same target file, black and white, that you exported out of Photoshop. And that'll bring it in. It's going to look really, really shiny because I haven't turned it down yet. Go back to default. We're going to go, instead of 100, we're going to go probably 20. And you can see that it's reflective now. And when you render it, it'll look nice, reflective. You can turn it up a bit if you want, 30. Reflective material, you can add a light in to get lighting effects. But that's just the basic. You can see the shiny right there. Basic bump, basic reflective texturing in 3ds Max. And my next tutorial, I'll do some normal mapping, show you how to do bricking and tileable textures, make it look real nice, and hopefully help you guys out. So thanks for now, and I'll see you next tutorial. Are you shitting me?